We're here with Carrie Gherkin
Hi.
to talk about ethical decision making. Where do you believe your ethics come from?
I think ethics come from how you were raised, what you were taught to believe in, your values, your morals, and just kind of your society and culture in general.
What situation have you experienced moral distress?
I think the first thing I think of is taking care of patients of other cultures or beliefs in the OR. For example, what am I thinking of? No, not Somali, but Jehovah Witness patients and declining any kind of blood products in the OR. That gets kind of sticky for us when we want to give them blood products and make them healthy again, and it's kind of a ethical roller coaster for us to not give them to them.
Have you ever run into a situation where the patient was losing a lot of blood that was a Jehovah Witness and you couldn't?
I have.
Did they have a cell saver already?
No.
Wow. Was everything okay with the patient?
The patient left and went to ICU, so after they leave, we don't necessarily hear how they did.
Do you think they would have gone to ICU if they would have had the blood transfusions?
I think anybody that needs blood transfusions in the OR tends to go to ICU anyway,
right.
But
yeah.
I think that they would have recovered better if they would have had blood transfusions, yeah.
So do you have anyone where you had to make a decision, an ethical situation? Like you worked on OB, right? Did you have any situation where you had to make a decision between, like...
Not really, because I feel like in the hospital, policies pretty much drive your practice. So if a patient refuses a treatment, I can't make a decision on my own to give them that treatment. Or, when I worked on OB and let's say a patient came back with a positive chemical tox screen or something like that, it's hard to send that baby home with that patient, but you have no legal right not to. So until the courts are involved or social services comes and does something different, you still send that baby with that mother.
It's got to be tough. So who is all involved in something like that?
It really is between the government and the patient in an issue such as that. So if if a baby has a positive tox screen, it's the hospital's responsibility to report it. But once it's reported, there's really nothing legally the hospital does unless we're given instruction by social services or the police. Or
how do your emotions play a role in that?
Oh gosh.
Are you an emotional person?
Sometimes, but in that that makes me more angry, I guess. To send a baby home to an environment that is not good for that baby. Or here, it's kind of more angering to not give a patient what is best for them, but their belief system is that it's not best for them. So, you kind of have to step aside and do what policies and procedures tell you to do.
Right, so there's kind of like that power imbalance between the family and the hospital policies where you can't do. What positive qualities do you think you possess that make you an effective ethical decision maker?
I think a lot of my travels outside the U.S., so I've done some mission nursing in Nicaragua and in Haiti, and I think a lot of just being able to see what the belief systems in other cultures and in other areas of the world, and just to understand that that's what their beliefs, that's what they truly believe in, and it's not a decision for me to make, that's a decision for them to make. So just I think experience and exposure are what help you kind of get a broad ethical background. And
do you have any advice for the nursing students on ethical decision making?
I think if you feel torn in a decision or a practice, you should always talk to charge nurses or directors, or like the ethical committee or the ethics committee in the hospital, if this is where you happen to work, and run it past them, because you can never go wrong by questioning things. But then just gain experience, learn about other cultures, learn about what they believe in, learn about just their normal day-to-day routine, because what they do might be totally different than us and what they believe in, and just understand why. And it really helps you make some of those decisions when it kind of comes down to crunch time.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good advice. You're so good at answering